Eragon twisted under the blankets, reluctant to open his eyes. Book 1, Eragon, Chapter 30, Vision of Perfection, and Chapter 31, Master of the Blade. Welcome to Eragon and Back Again, a podcast where we explore Christopher Paolini's inheritance cycle one chapter at a time. I'm Lucy Hart.
And I'm Darien Smart.
And welcome once again on Great Adventure. I don't know why I'm dabbing.
Yeah, but you're also just like Hercules posing.
You're
not just dabbing.
I'm not. It's like a little of the
both.
Yes. I don't know
Really
what I'm doing.
a chaotic crossover energy today.
Yes.
We are back on an adventure. We've left here. That was the last chapter, and then the Urgals and stuff happened. But like these chapters are largely we're back. We are on the road again.
Yep.
But first, Lucy, do you have any sparks of inspiration?
I think I'm going to double back on a spark of inspiration that we talked about, or you talked about.
Oh.
It's the new Percy Jackson series, because we finished. Yeah, me and my girlfriend, we finished watching it, or whatever the first season was. And my first reaction was, boy, I hope they make another season of this, because it's so good. But I don't know if they're going to. So my spark of inspiration is being so pulled into something that I forget about the world around me. So new Percy Jackson series did that to me, like when we got like to Zeus and the whole like ending. It was so good.
Yo, Poseidon in that scene. I was like,
so...
what? Lucy and I have not got a chance to talk about the show yet.
No.
But I was just floored,
yeah.
blindsided.
Yeah.
What incredible.
Absolutely.
Incredible.
Yep.
No
and
notes.
then
Some notes. Not about Poseidon.
Yeah. But like
Athena notes.
What I really liked was the visual difference between Zeus in a very sharp suit and Poseidon being super cash.
So cash!
And I just love that so much. I don't know. I just like watching it. I literally forgot. And then the ending almost came as a shock. They did such a good job and it was like awesome. So then my other small nugget, I don't know if it would be a nugget, but my other small nugget is I recently played a RPG, very low stakes demo of a game called Tavern Talks, I believe.
Cute!
And
I've seen that on Instagram.
Yeah, and you're basically just a tavern keep, and people come in and you make them drinks and things like that. And it's the demo, and at the end of the demo, they had you like fill out a form like how immersive was it? And I was like, actually, it was really immersive. For me, I was pulled in. I actually laughed out loud a couple of times because there were some really good points. And I just really liked how the characters felt. The music was great, and all these things. So like in both of those instances, I was very pulled in. And my spark of inspiration for me to pass that on into my own works is I hope to make something that is just as pulling in.
Yeah.
So
that's so good.
Yeah, that's my spark of inspirations, I guess.
Yeah, I love that.
Darien, do you have any spark of inspiration?
I do. I have a really big one.
Okay.
That's why I could just be like, this is mine. Like, I have to. Okay. So, I really, really like Hazbin Hotel.
Oh my God, yeah.
Really. No, like, I feel 14 again. Really, really like Hazbin
Oh my God,
Hotel.
yeah.
Like, listener, if you're like, I heard that show was bad, I don't want to watch it yet. This is not me trying to convince you to watch it. Like, fine, whatever. You're fine. We don't have to all consume the same media.
Yep.
I just like really, really liked it.
The songs are so good.
Every song is so good. And even if you're not like, oh, this song's a bop, I'm going to listen to it on repeat, it functions so well as this series is a musical.
Yeah, it's a musical.
There are songs sometimes.
Yeah, no, it is a musical.
It is a musical in that the songs serve a musical structure, which is something I think is very, very strong, because sometimes you have the musical songs and it's just, here's a fun song in this episode that's a kid's show, and sometimes we do songs.
Yeah.
No, it's like there's like a song in the second episode that's like it's the second song in the second episode, and it's not like a huge like banger of a song, but I'm watching it and I'm like, oh no, I totally understand what this song is. It is supposed to relay that we, the audience, are supposed to trust this character now.
Yeah.
So we are supposed to understand that this character is being genuine in their desire for forgiveness and redemption.
Yeah.
And that is cool. So we're not going to spend 4 episodes wondering, is it a trick? Are they just doing a long game? No, don't worry about that, because if you're worried about that, you're not able to immerse yourself into what's going on in the story going forward. And I thought that was so cool. But also, basically every song is a bop.
It so is. It's so good.
I was listening to it last night. I pulled up the album on Spotify, and I don't usually listen to music like that has lyrics in it when I'm writing or working or something. Usually I listen to my podcasts if I'm doing like Instagram making graphic stuff. But last night I was like, nah, I kind of want to listen to the Hazbin Hotel soundtrack while I'm making the writer takeaway graphics and stuff like that. So I really like the show.
Yep.
I've seen it just I've seen people like, I watched someone's story where they're like, I don't like Hazbin. I think the character designs look way too like OC high school Tumblr OCs. Mm-hmm. And then I watched the rest of their story, and they're like, "Oh, these songs are good. Oh, they're Broadway actors. That's really good. Oh, this is actually really fun. It kind of reminds me of like an edgy Ever After High. It's really maximalist." It's like, yes, it is. And then at the end of this person's story, they are. I'm not gonna this is not me like shaming them. It was just a really fun roller coaster.
Yeah,
they are an artist, and I follow their webcomic, which I really enjoy. And at the end, they shared a post where the creator of Hazbin Hotel talked about how the first character she created was the character of Alistair. She made him when she was in high school.
Yeah.
And they're like, ha, I knew it. And then they also added, I just remember that I created my two main characters of my webcomic when I was in high school.
Yeah.
It's like, yeah, I can tell you definitely created this young woman who's turning into a bird and this prince who literally has no eyes but looks like Hal from Howl's Moving Castle when you were in high school.
Yeah.
I totally can tell.
Absolutely.
That's not a bad thing.
No, it's not.
I also like the fact that Alistair was created first because it also kind of demonstrates that every character is being created to match his aesthetic, and it works. It's so maximalist.
Yeah.
I love it.
Yep. I do really I haven't watched it. I've only watched like a couple episodes here and there. So I do need to sit down and watch it all. I've started to get reels on YouTube from them.
I've broken my algorithm.
And I'm like, oh no, because I keep seeing things from episodes I haven't seen. I'm like, no spoilers.
Yeah, there's some big spoilers.
So I'm very much like, I am excited to watch this because my girlfriend, she's had one of the songs on repeat a lot.
Which one?
It's the I'm the Loser.
Oh, I'm a loser, baby.
It's so good.
I'm sorry for singing. I'm really sorry I did that. I didn't mean to.
I'm keeping it in. I'm keeping it in.
I even thought when I was like, I'm definitely gonna talk about Hazbin. I'm like, I'm obviously not gonna sing because that would be stupid.
I've been like that. Those lyrics have been like on the back of my tongue for like
that song
since you started.
Fun.
Yeah, it's very good. So I'm very excited to actually watch it from the beginning.
I like it a lot. It broke me down to my base elements of how I like literally every single piece of it, and it just like. I was so angry about how much I liked it. And it's in part because I've worked really hard to I liked the original pilot, but I worked really hard to distance myself from that because I had really negative interactions with other elements of the fandom.
Yeah.
Which happens everywhere. I know there are people who don't like things like Steven Universe or stuff that I've really, really loved because they've had really negative interactions with the fandom.
That was me with Hitalia.
Yeah.
I don't watch it and I'm not super into it as much as I was, but I didn't get into it for the longest of time because I had interactions with people from the fandom that were just all negative.
Yeah, and it's a hard thing to grapple with wherein I spent so long whenever I'd see any Hazbin art that happened because it'd be grouped in with oh, you like so many people like the other things I like.
Yeah.
If I saw Hazbin art on my feed, I would take it out. I'd be not take it. Don't show me this. I don't want to see it. I don't want to see it. And I would really train my algorithms don't show me this. I don't want to see it.
Yeah.
And I broke that in one night. I broke that in one goddamn night.
It's all gone.
No,
it's
I
need
to
gone.
see. Show me all the fan art. Show me all the reels. Show me all the lip sync ones. Oh my god, there is one of the that Who Broke It from Parks and Rec.
Oh
yeah.
All
right, Who Broke It? Which is one I actually did recently for the Goddess videos I do for the Muses Instagram, and it was a perfect lineup. So not only do I love the show, I'm also really loving seeing the fandom creation inspired.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I don't in a mindset to have a nuanced thing about why I was so halfway embarrassed to admit how much I like this, even though I think it is genuinely good.
Yeah.
And the themes the show is dealing with are really, really interesting.
Yeah.
And it's not just, oh, well, there's a lot of sex and they say fuck a lot. Which there is. But it is that because it's in hell. And dealing with the idea of redemption.
Yep.
And what makes a good person. And when does someone get to be good? And who gets to decide what that means? And where does the punishment come from? And I didn't say what Hazbin Hotel was. It occurred to me. I kind of just assumed y'all would know. But then we've interacted with some of our listeners who are all great. And definitely the vibe is y'all probably don't exist in this circle. Hazbin Hotel is an adult animated series. Think less Family Guy and more Harley Quinn adult animated. On Amazon Prime. Original pilot dropped on YouTube about 5 years ago. Got picked up by A24 and Bento Box and they've created it. It is set in hell under the premise that sinners die, they go to hell, they become kind of demons, everything sucks. But the population of hell was becoming such a concern that heaven began sending executioner angels down once a year to just slaughter the population to keep it under control. The princess of hell, the daughter of Lucifer, Morningstar, and Lilith, does not like this. She does not like seeing this happen to her people. So she comes up with an idea that what if sinners could be redeemed? What if they could become better people? Then they could go to heaven. That would keep the population from being such a problem. And then they wouldn't suffer anymore. So she creates this hotel, the Hazbin Hotel. And it is about her trying to get this hotel to work, her trying to get people to believe in it, and the characters who come for whatever reason and then end up becoming part of it. You like found family tropes, you're going to love this.
Yeah.
And yeah, it's great. And they do some stuff that I would not expect from the show. They make some really like interesting choices for plots, for characters. We end up interacting with the angels and heaven a whole lot and have some real revelations there that are really interesting and imply a lot about the lore.
Mm-hmm.
It's really cool. And every animation choice is so strong. There's a demon, there's a TV demon. And there's one shot, he's fucking wild. And there's one shot where he like gets a phone call, answers it on his like watch phone, and then flicks it to the screen in front of him, and you see the signal go to the screen. Yeah. And I just like, that was so cool. That was such a small thing, and it was so cool. So like, the reason I'm inspired is like, I think every single choice is so big and so interesting. Yeah. And so it's inspiring me to go bigger, be more interesting. Yeah. Like I have a sequence in my draft where they visit what is essentially Freak Alley here in Idaho. Yep. Which is an outdoor art gallery. And I had that there as a scene for art, and it was very cute. And then when I was actually typing it up from the written draft version, I was like, why isn't this more magical? Yeah. Why don't the murals move and interact? Why isn't? And so there is now. Yeah. In the original one, it was just murals like you'd see in the world. And in this one, you have the characters wave and interact. You have, in like, when you touch something, colors flash from it. It changes, and you have things. And I'm like, of course, it's magic. Yeah. It's hell. Why wouldn't you go big? Be maximalist. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, that was a long, but I guess the spark of inspiration is not being afraid to be maximalist when that is what I want to be. Absolutely. I think that's a good idea. Speaking of maximalist, we have Eragon, who's making me maximalist annoyed.
I do feel like these chapters he's just channeling his 15-year-old self so hard, and I'm like, oh my god, Eragon, let's go. Yeah. We got this.
We can get through this. We'll get through this together. All right. Vision of perfection. Eragon awakens to find himself alone at the campsite. Unable to mentally contact Saphira, Eragon attempts the scrying magic Brom spoke of. After determining that Saphira and Brom are safe together, he then uses the magic to see Rowan and, to his surprise, the imprisoned woman from his dream. Brom and Saphira return, having spent the last 2 days trying to kill the Urgals before they could escape with information about Eragon. Upon learning that the Urgals worked for a leader who already knew of Eragon, Brom begins drilling Eragon on when to use magic in what situations.
Yeah, so I think Eragon in this situation is so, like, unaware of the... Because, like, we talked about in our last episode how there was a lot of situations in which what could have been the mistake. Like, there's, like, a lot of... Like, because I think it was a costly mistake was the last chapter. And I feel like... I can't remember, but I feel like we did talk about how... What was the mistake? Because there was, like, a lot of choices that was made in the last chapter that I was like, oh, that could have been it. That could... But what was the costly mistake? Like, what was the big one? Yeah. And then in this chapter, we're like, oh, yeah, no, that was really bad. And he's just so unaware of what he has done. Yeah, it is. And also, what's wild to me is that Eragon knows he overdid it with the magic. Yep. Like, he is aware that was almost, like, Saphira almost got hurt. He's unconscious. He doesn't know how long he's been out or what's going on. And he decides, okay, well, I'll do the scrying magic to see where they're at. And that first one, trying to find where Saphira's at, I think that's smart. Reasonable. He can't contact them. He doesn't know what's up. He sees they're safe. Great. But then he's like, well, maybe I'll use it to see Rowan. And he does. And Rowan's like, oh, he looks so stressed. Oh my god, he looks like he's aged as much as Garo did. Yep. Okay. And he's like, well, he's not in any house I recognize because the space all around them is white. You can't see that space. Yep. And then Eragon's like, well, I wonder if maybe I could see a place I've only ever imagined. And then he like tries, and then that's when he sees the woman in the dungeon from his dream. Yep. And she looks directly at him before she falls unconscious. And it's just like, Eragon, you just overdid, and you can tell it's the strain. He's like, I'll just see if I can do it again. Eragon, Yep. And it's like, and that's the thing, because he's like, when he wakes up, he struggles to like get to his feet, and then he's starving.
He's not 100%.
No, and he does, and I think you're right. Like, he understands what he did, what overexerted himself. And then like my biggest thing was, maybe I could see where Saphira is. Brom said that scrying takes a lot of energy, but I'm stronger than he is. It's like, Eragon. Like, dude, like, it doesn't. You might.
Yeah. No.
I was like, you might be stronger than him at full whatever.
Yeah.
But you are really weak right now. This is not a good idea to do this.
Yeah. No, Brom didn't say it takes a lot of energy for me. He said it took a lot of energy. Period.
Yeah.
Like, what is this weird comparison of like, it won't take a lot of my energy. I'm stronger than Brom in magic. And it's like, no.
Yeah.
Eragon, that's not what he said.
Yeah. I do feel like he's so oblivious. And it's like, yeah, 15-year-old.
Yeah. Yeah. And it's like, okay, Eragon. This chapter is called A Vision of Perfection, and it's the one where he conjures up a vision of that woman he saw in the dungeon. And like, I did promise I wouldn't do this, but also at the same time, I'm just like...
Yeah. Before we get to that, really, really quick. So first he does with Saphira and Brom. And I think you're right on that. Like, I feel like that is understandable. And then he's like, well, I'm already made it this far. Might as well look up Rowan. And it's like, okay, that's fair. And so he's concerned about Rowan, but then he kind of like is at ease because he's like, okay, Rowan's fine. He looks really stressed, but he's fine. But then he tries to scry something unknowing that it'll work. And it's like, again, we have this back tension. I guess for me, it was like, Eragon, you don't know if this is going to work, and dealing with magic is really stressful, and you are doing something that you dreamed of. You don't know if it's tangible or not. This could kill you. This could easily kill you. But he goes and does it anyway. Luckily, it doesn't kill him, and he does get to the woman, and that kind of puts more weight, I guess, to what I said maybe in episodes before, I can't remember, that I really wish there was some kind of something that explained why Eragon is having these real visions. Because now we are solidified. It is real. He is able to scry it. It exists. And he doesn't just get the girl, he gets the room. He has seen that room in his dreams.
In either of the other ones, yeah.
And so for me, it's like, really solidifies for me. I'm like, man, I really wish there was just something that said that writers had visions or something.
Yeah, something to
but
acknowledge.
Anyway.
I think also maybe Eragon, just like you just said, Lucy, like him being like, I don't even know if this will work. And I already overexerted myself at magic, and magic can be dangerous. I don't even know, but I'm going to try it anyway. And that thing Brom said about don't do things unless you know how it's going to work because it can kill you. I think that maybe that is intentional to tie back into when Brom comes back and he's pissed off about everything, all the choices Eragon has made.
Yep.
And maybe it's to set us, the readers, up to also be like, yeah, Eragon doesn't have a clue what he's doing. He just did this scrying thing. Yep. This is ridiculous.
Yep.
Because Brom has a line of like, it's partially my fault. I've been telling you how and not if you should.
I highlighted that because I'm like, yep.
You wondered so much if you could. You never thought to ask if you should.
Yep. Absolutely.
Jurassic Park up in here.
Yep.
And it's like, I do appreciate Brom being like, it's perhaps my fault. I'm like, yeah, Brom, it is your fault.
Yeah, you have a 15-year-old, my dude.
You have a 15-year-old. I don't actually, and we're talking about this in regards of him, like, giving Eragon, like, information or, like, a lot. We've been like, I don't know if Brom's a great teacher.
Yeah.
To be fair, he never had. Actually, no. He knew he was going to be called upon to train the next dragon rider.
Yeah.
He could have taken a teaching course.
Yeah.
Probably not. But
There's no teaching courses.
There's no teaching course in Analogasia.
Yep.
But I don't know, man. Like, you could have figured out how. I mean, he probably didn't think it would be in this situation. Running
absolutely.
And hunting the Razak. But I still say, like, what did you think you'd just be sitting in a classroom? Like, under the.
Maybe under less duress.
Yeah, what was Brom picturing when he was like, yes, I will train the next dragon rider?
Yeah.
Like,
we don't really know.
Doing here?
Yeah, because I think it's Eragon he did make mistakes in this, but I do think it does show Brom is furious. He's livid. What happened? Asked Eragon. What happened? Roared the old man. And it's just, Eragon doesn't understand what he did, and he did make a costly mistake, but Brom is like, actually, I am also partial to blame. And I do think that shows a lot to Brom's character.
Yeah.
Being like, it's all your fault kind of thing, which could probably be easy to do. But Brom is like, no. And like what you, just alliterating what you said, just, I've been trying to like show you how much you could do, like magic and sword fighting and all these things, but not necessarily strategy. He's been nothing in strategy. And I do think that's a really good aspect, because it's like, yeah, you could gain all these skills, but they're useless if you don't know what to do with them.
Yeah, or
in
how
the
to
proper
use them.
Yeah, exactly.
Because what Brom is upset, he's like, that piece of magic nearly killed you. You've been sleeping for 2 days. There were 12 Urgals.
12!
But that didn't stop you from trying to throw them all the way to Tarim, now did it? What were you thinking? Sending a rock through each of their heads would have been the smart thing to do, but no, you had to knock them unconscious so they could run away later. I've spent the last 2 days trying to track them down. Even with Saphira, 3 escaped. And I want to talk about this real quick.
Yep.
Eragon saying, I didn't want to kill them, said Eragon, feeling very small. It wasn't a problem in Yazwak. There was no choice then, and I couldn't control the magic. This time it seemed extreme. Extreme! It's not extreme when they don't show you the same mercy. And then later we will get Saphira agreeing, where she's like, if you had told me what you were going to do, I would have told you it was smarter to kill the Urgals.
Absolutely.
So you have both Saphira and Brom, who are characters who are set up to be like wiser, more knowledgeable than Eragon. Mentors to Eragon in different ways. I mean, Saphira not quite a mentor, but like, like they're close friends. She advises him. He both telling him it was wrong to not kill the Urgals.
Yep.
And I don't know what we, the reader, are supposed to feel.
Mm-hmm.
The chapter was called A Costly Mistake. And as we said, the costly mistake was him using magic to try to throw the Urgals. And Brom is saying it wasn't the problem of magic. It was the decision on to throw them rather than just kill them with a stone. Because the amount it would take to like just huck a stone. Like I said, way easier than throwing 12 Urgals.
Because we've been told that if you use magic to lift a rock, it's as though you've lifted it already. You spend the same energy. So lifting 12 Urgals is kind of like, yikes.
Yeah. So that's a problem. So it seems like we, the reader, are supposed to agree that Eragon should have killed them. Especially now that they got away, they can tell the stories. And even Eragon saying, well, it doesn't matter that they saw me. They already knew about me. Yeah. And then Brom's like, okay, so you insulted their leader, and then you still let them get away. That actually makes it worse. You should have killed them. And I think that is back to this overarching analysis of what makes a monster. Yeah. Whereas if they had been attacked by, or even just beasts, like if they had been attacked by a pack of wolves, Eragon would have killed them.
Would have, absolutely.
Killed the wolves. They've been chasing him. The fact that he doesn't want to kill the Urgals because in Yazwak he couldn't control the magic, and he was cornered. Yep. And they were going to kill them. Yep. And when he faced them, then they stopped, and the Urgal was speaking to them.
Yeah, they actually conversed.
To converse, and so. Yeah, I think killing them in cold blood in that moment when Eragon was just trying to make sure they didn't catch up to Brom, and if with enough distance, like Brom got far enough away, he and Saphira are going to get away, it would have been fine. Yeah. But we're told, no, that's wrong. He should have just killed them. Yeah. And then the fact like in return, it's like, well, they would have showed you no mercy. Mm-hmm. And that is very like, if they had been bandits, I don't think we would get Brom saying you should have killed them. I think we would have gotten Brom going after the bandits and just wiping their memories. Yeah. If that happened.
Or
like,
something.
I think that's another thing is that Brom is killing the Urgals. He's not just trying to like do something to change their memory, for their mind, like whatever. He is just killing them.
Yep. Straight up killing them. I think that's a really interesting aspect, because if we think about it like that, I guess in this scenario and how it's presented to us is we're supposed to side with Brom. Mm-hmm. And that makes Eragon just this whole other entity. He is standing apart from both us as the readers and Brom. And I find that is just so unique, and that does put Eragon in like this unique spotlight, whereas he is going so much against the grain that even us, the readers, are supposed to disagree with what he did. Yeah. But Eragon is so like, no, I'm right. Like I shouldn't have killed them.
But that's the thing. I think Eragon doesn't push back.
Yeah, that's
true. He feels small. He feels bad. He's talking about like, I didn't want to kill them. It seemed extreme. Like
that's
I felt
true.
like I had another choice. And when he's like, well, it's like, oh, mercy, and the fact that there is no acknowledgement that showing mercy, even to an enemy who would not pay you in kind, is noble.
Yeah, like, that's true.
It is, and Brom is very angry, and sometimes we have these things where it's like, it feels like this would have been a really great like teaching opportunity, but Brom is so angry. And
he's just an angry dude.
And it is. I wonder if it is intentional that we are losing these teaching moments, and that's part of Brom's character, where sometimes he gets so angry that he is not seeing the bigger picture beyond the moment, or if it's Paulini writing it and not even considering that this could have been a teaching moment because that's not the point of the scene. And the point of the scene is that Eragon made a mistake in not just killing the beasts. True. And so I don't know. And I don't know. And I think the only way we'll be able to tell whether or not Eragon is correct is what he does the next time he has the opportunity to kill an Urgal or just try to, like, will he learn from his mistake and just be like, oh, well, I just kill the Urgals if I have the opportunity. Or, because it's interesting, and it is, like, us specific, and it is, maybe we'd feel differently coming from not having read everything that happens later with this race of creatures, but with this civilization, with these people. Yep. But simultaneously, I do think, like, being adults, older, having an awareness, the things we've picked up of, like, Urgals have speech, they have culture, they clearly have traditions, like the fact that the Eragon offended their leader was something they took very personally. Like, they are a people. And yes, they are, and they are also people whose lands have been, like, taken by the king. So we have all these factors, and I think even without knowing, like, things that happen later, it still would be an interesting, like, who do we decide to kill? Or, like, if they had been chased by elves or dwarves or, like, other human bandits, would Brom be telling Eragon he should have killed them?
No, that's true. I agree with that.
I just wanted to talk about that a little bit because it falls into the thing.
Absolutely. And then we go on to the line that we mentioned earlier where Brom says, I've been teaching you how to do things, but not whether you should. And then basically the rest of the chapter is they set off on the road again. And Brom starts drilling Eragon with difficult scenarios involving Urgals, magic, and Saphira. The imagined fights were many and varied. Sometimes a shade or other dragons were included. And Eragon gets a lot of Brom's questions wrong and just grows increasingly frustrated about it. And Brom is disappointed that like, Eragon's...
It was a start. I'm curious as to, like, what wrong means, though. It's a kind of a bummer that we don't have examples, and I would say, like, maybe it's like he's like, I can't think of a good example. Whatever, they did this and he got him wrong, don't worry about it. But I think that ties back to the idea of, like, wrong. Brom told Eragon he was wrong to not kill the Urgals in that situation. But that, and I think I'm disagreeing with that because I don't think Eragon was wrong to show mercy or be noble. But I think, again, like I said, we are supposed to believe that because nothing is pushed back against it. And no other
there's no... Eragon doesn't stand up for his view.
Even Eragon doesn't think that. Internally, he doesn't think that, but he does not think that it is right to be kind or merciful. So
specifically to the Urgals.
Yes. So... but I would have liked to see, so is it wrong? Like, Brom's like, nope, you got that wrong. It's like, okay, hold up.
Like, what did he get wrong?
What deems wrong? Because here's the thing, if Eragon had been able to just throw the Urgals and hadn't, like, had enough strength to do so, we probably would have been in a different situation. Or instead of killing them, if he had, I don't know, but no, there was no other option. That's the thing I'm getting back to, is Brom just has a specific, this is the right, this is the wrong, A, B. And in terms of magic, I feel like that's not correct. I don't think when you're using magic there is only A or B. It's about creativity, which we will discuss right now. Let's enter the next chapter, Master of the Blade. Having injured his wrist before the Urgal encounter, Eragon is forced to practice dueling with his left hand. Rather than a hindrance, in a few weeks, Eragon becomes so proficient with the sword that Brom declares him the better swordsman. But despite Eragon's growing skill, Brom warns him of the dangers of dueling an elf or some other magic user. When asked how to fight with magic, Brom explains the nature of a wizard's duel, a challenge Eragon is far from ready to face. Lucy, do you want to talk about Eragon being an archer?
I understand the importance of Eragon becoming a sword master, being really good at the sword. And
we live in a fantasy.
Well,
there's gonna be sword fighting.
There's like a big thing about that. I'm just sad.
We could have had both.
I'm just sad that he's not improving on his archery skills.
It's
not at all.
He doesn't even hunt with the bow anymore.
No, he doesn't. So it's that skill was just pushed to the side, and now it's put on a shelf, and now it's collecting dust. And it just makes me sad because, again, like, as someone who has not a proficiency, but has a preference for the bow and skills with the bow, because I just find that, I've mentioned it so many times, I feel, before, but I find it so fascinating. And it makes me sad that that no longer is going to come into play. And I'm just like, man, like I get it. It's just, it makes me a little sad.
Yeah, no, it's a bummer. Yeah, it does feel like it is just, we've replaced the bow entirely with magic and swords.
Yep.
Because that is the traditional masculine fantasy trope.
Yeah, the
like
sword.
you have the powerful knight and the great sorcerer, and Eragon will be both.
Yeah.
And that's cool.
With,
I'm not saying any of these are wrong, but like, yeah, it's a bummer that he already had a strong skill in a bow, and we just, like you said many times, Lucy, just don't allow it to be a thing he becomes, especially because I feel like ranged attacks from the back of your dragon would have been really tight as hell.
Yeah, especially if you like imbued the arrows with magic so that the wind and things like don't actually mess with the arrow. Like,
magic
I feel
arrows.
like that would have been so freaking cool. But
we also have a really cute scene of Eragon and Saphira playing
in the lake.
Leona Lake, which is, I love the description of it. Dusk soon made the trail hard to follow, but the sound of the river at their side guided them. When the moon rose, the bright disk provided enough light to see what lay ahead. Leona Lake looked like a thin sheet of silver beaten over the land. The water was so calm and smooth it did not even seem to be liquid. Aside from a bright strip of moonlight reflecting off the surface, it was indistinguishable from the ground. And Saphira is like really into it. She's like, the water is lovely, deep, cooling. Oh, because she went swimming. She dove into the water. And maybe I'll go swimming tomorrow. And then tomorrow, he jumps on Saphira and they dive into the water and
they
go
just
swimming
have
together.
Fun. Yeah,
and I love that.
I love the line of, Saphira, where are you? Let's have some fun. For me, it really, because we've talked about the bond they've had before. And like, this is one of those very rare moments that he can just be 15 and she can be,
and she's young. I think
she's really young.
We forget sometimes with her, like,
because that was like, once they hit the road again, she's still in the water, just splashing around.
The idea of like, this just sea serpent type image of Saphira swimming through the water.
And it's for me, it's a reminder also that they're just kids, both of them. And at this point they're just reveling in the presence of each other and just a really nice day. And like a moment just a moment of freedom and peace. Absolutely.
There's nothing in that moment that they have to be that's more pressing than them just going swimming together.
And it's really nice. I think I like what you said. It's really cute. It's really refreshing. But I will say, like, real quick, the beginning of the chapter, I've been talking a lot about the visions and stuff.
Right, I forgot. They do talk about
the vision a little bit. And Brom's just like, did you see her face? Like, asking details about it because Eragon admits that he scried this woman from his dreams. And Brom does say, dreams do occasionally touch the spirit realm, but this is different. So there we have almost of an explanation of why Eragon is having these visions, but not really.
He says, somehow you managed to scry in your sleep something you've never seen before without saying words of power. And it's like, okay, so it's magic. It seems like the explanation is it's magic. Well, that's weird that we're just gonna, you didn't have a bigger reason why this is happening? Paulini?
Just scrying in sleep. That doesn't feel right. Again, like I think maybe like this could be the point. I've heard of some writers scrying in their sleep.
It's very rare.
Or just like the bond with their dragons means like when they're asleep, the magic is slightly uncontrollable, not to a dangerous level, but it just seems to flow freely between dragon and rider. And sometimes weird things happen in sleep, such as scrying, though it is a very rare occurrence. That would have been.
we also have the thing that like we know that Brom doesn't is that Eragon had that dream after Angela read the bones for his future and mentioned he would have some grand love. And now the confirmation that this woman is real. And the connection of that does feel like it could just be like, oh, a romance, a soulmate thing. That's how he's seeing her without using words of power, and that he's never seen her before. It's just this destined thing.
I don't like that.
I don't like that either.
I much prefer the.
I prefer your thing, Lucy.
Yeah, I do. Like, I can see the whole, like, if she is connected, because we don't know if this is the woman. We're 99% sure that it is.
It'd be really weird if we had the witch tell him you'll have a grand romance, and then he saw a beautiful imprisoned woman in the same chapter, and that was totally unrelated.
Yeah, absolutely. But
what?
It's like,
no, her? Nah, that's Gretchen. She's married to the queen of the other land. Don't worry about that.
Yeah, because it's like, I would understand, again, just kind of with the connection you made, the reason why he's seeing her is because of that connection. So it's like, that's fair. But I don't like the fact that, I don't know. I understand it, I guess, but I don't like it.
Maybe I'd like it more if I liked where that plot went more. I don't know.
Yeah.
Listen, I'm real easy to please when it comes to romance, okay? I read the Shadowhunter books. Okay, maybe that actually, no. I have high fucking standards for my romance arcs. And Chris? Hey, Chris? Toffer? I don't know if you nailed this one, my friend. But spoilers, I guess. But yeah, so we have that. Eragon mentions that he thinks perhaps to understand, we should search every prison and dungeon until we find the woman. He actually thought it was a good idea. Brom laughed and rode on.
Which was fair.
Yeah.
Honestly fair.
Eragon, don't be ridiculous. But yeah, that's really. Then
the last
wizard's duel.
Yep.
Well, we don't get one,
the wizard, but yeah, the ending of the chapter is. I kind of somewhat highlighted this just because this is the first in detail fighting scene we get with Brom and Eragon.
Yeah.
From when they first started sparring.
Yes, we haven't revisited.
Yeah. For me, it's like, that's actually really cool because we started off with Eragon having 0 proficiency at all. Mm-hmm. And we, I guess, it's not an end, but the part where Eragon or Brom admits that I have nothing else I can teach you, of Eragon showing his proficiency in his. I really like the line. Suddenly confident, Eragon swung Zarok faster than ever, weaving a web of steel around Brom's sword. Mm-hmm. That's just an amazing visual right there. But good. It also amplifies Eragon's proficiency in his swordplay. And so it's really cool. And then I do like how Eragon defeats him. And Brom's like, we're done for the day. And he's like, but we just started. He's like, nope, I can't teach you like anything else. Brom says that they will continue training with swords, but taking it easy. So it's like, I can't teach you anymore. So we're just going to, I guess, focus more on perfecting the things.
Yeah. You have to keep practicing to maintain a skill.
Absolutely.
But it's not so important they do it every single night.
Yeah. And then this is the line, I may not be as young as I used to be, but I can tell that you're a talented and rare swordsman, which makes me sad and a little bitter, but that's me, entirely me. But yeah, and then they go into talking, how do you fight with magic? What do you mean? And then Eragon asks about in magic detail, and Brom says, that's a wizard's duel. And then explaining how dangerous that is. And also, I do like that even in like 2 magician enemies facing off with each other, that there are rules both need to follow or they both will die. Yeah. And I really like that because it's like this overarching rule that everyone must follow. Like no one is excluded because the answer is death.
Yeah, this isn't just etiquette. This isn't, you don't kick your opponent in the balls, Gabaltorix. This is literally, no, you do it this way or you both die.
Yep.
Lucy, can you explain to me why? I will be honest, I don't understand why this is. So the rule essentially is you don't use magic until one of them is able to break through the other's mental barriers.
Yeah.
Once you're inside the enemy's mind, it's easy enough to anticipate what he will do and prevent it. Even with that advantage, it is still possible to lose if you don't know how to counteract spells. Hold on. Before he says, if I were to suddenly use my power against you, Eragon, you would surely die. But in that brief moment before you were destroyed, there would be a time for a counterattack. Therefore, unless one combatant has a death wish, neither side attacks until one of them has breached the other's defenseless, because once you're inside the enemy's mind, it's easy enough to anticipate what he will do and prevent it. I don't understand. I do understand. It's like, oh, well, if you just throw a spell, it's definitely going to kill you because you can see it coming. But maybe you could do another counterattack in response to it.
Yeah.
That would kill me in return, so we'll both die.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas if I get inside your head, I will be able to see what you will do and therefore be able to anticipate the attack and deflect your attack itself.
Yeah.
But you won't be able to do the same. So I don't understand why the breaching of the defenses is so important. It feels like a very, I don't understand. I'll just say I don't get it.
So I think
I'm not convinced.
You're good. I think that it goes back to what Eragon asked. Most spells take place instantaneously, which makes it impossible to react in time. And even if I could, how would I nullify an enemy's magic? It seems I would have to know my opponent's intent before he acted.
Mm-hmm.
And that is why it is important to break the defenses, because if you cannot see their mind and how it is working and how it is coming up with these spells, because what Brom said in earlier chapters, he could just say water and a gem could form, and no one would know how that happened unless, even if the magician talked about how they made that connection, only the magician can really quantify what that means.
Yeah.
And so I think, like, once you break through the defenses and you're able to completely actually read this person's mind and their intent and how they do it, only then can you counter the spells.
Yeah.
But you have your defenses and they don't know your defenses. So it's like you can stab your wall up and you can break through their defenses. So now you know what they're doing, but they still don't know what you're doing.
Yeah.
And that is the importance of the breaking through defenses, at least of my understanding of this.
Okay.
And so that's why the first step is to break through, because I think if you were just to cast spells willy-nilly, you could die instantly.
Your opponent would still, maybe in the time it would, you're going to kill your opponent, but in the time it would take for your spell to kill them, they could still cast a spell that would kill you.
Yes, absolutely.
And you would not be able to deflect that spell because you didn't know it was, or you wouldn't know what was coming before they did.
Absolutely. And I also think the other one is if their minds are locked together and they try to do something at the same time, it could have this really bad effect where the magic just goes wild and lashes back at both of them. And so I think it's a weird, like, doing too many things at the same time, whereas trying to break into somebody's mind takes all of your concentration. And if you try to cast magic at the same time, it could have really bad effects because you're trying to break. But even, like, the slightest train of thought could ruin the spell and therefore kill you both, possibly.
Okay. No, thank you for explaining. Okay, I understand.
At least that's from, again, my understanding.
It seems also, but it does seem to me that, like, okay, you don't want to cast a spell until you're in your opponent's head. Yeah. But as soon as they're in your head, I'm just almost, well, I guess it doesn't matter. You throw in spells at them, like, they will be able to know what's coming and you won't. So, okay, what I'm saying is, so now Brom is going to teach Eragon how to break through mental defenses, right?
One would hope. But he also says he's not ready for it. Once you've progressed, I'll start teaching you the necessary methods. In the meantime, if you ever find yourself facing a wizard's duel, I suggest you run away as fast as you can.
Oh, yeah. So you are going to teach Eragon how to do that thing, though, because we still have not had you teach him how to keep people out of his head, Brom.
Yeah, not completely, at least, because he's given him the little lessons of how to throw up defenses, but that's literally all
Has he?
Yeah, because there was that
focus.
He was like focus on something, and so there was that one time where Eragon on Saphira's scale and trying to like wall up because Brom said to do that.
And then Brom still got mad at him for that.
Yeah, because he's like, dude, don't block me out. And he's like, I was trying to do what you told me to do.
Yeah, we still have not had a circle back to how do you do that. And then now it sounds like we need to be doing how do you break through someone's defenses. Yep. So I mean, again, this circles back to, like, I don't know how great a teacher is. Brom seems to be a really solid teacher when it comes to, like, the physical, like, swordsman stuff. Yeah. Magic is just kind of a mess. Yeah. The actual dragon rider stuff, it's kind of like he's just like, oh, shit. Yeah, I probably should have been teaching you how to do this. Yeah, okay. Wizard's duel. Yeah, I don't know. I do find it interesting that while we just have, when they're traveling, we have not had Eragon working on building defenses and then learning how to push back against them. Yep. So
I agree. And that's pretty much the chapters.
Yeah, those are the chapters.
Yep. It's like a lot of detailing, which I like, but also not a lot happens. So
no, but we got some checkpoint stuff where we got, like, okay, resolving the thing with the Urgals and why this is a huge problem that Eragon realized. And then, okay, sword. I liked the sword. That actually, so the sword stuff is actually my writing takeaway, where I appreciated that we did not sit through every single sword lesson.
Yes.
To believe that he got better. We just,
Yes.
like you said, Lucy, we saw the detailed one of the first one. And then we know that they practice every night.
Yep.
And they mention it. And sometimes we mention Eragon's like, he's exhausted, or he feels like he's like being able to hold his own. But we don't see the movements.
Yeah.
We aren't sitting there wasting time
Yep.
and words. So I like the trust of, it's like what I said about the thing about the reading. How I didn't need to be there to see all this happen.
Yeah.
Why didn't we do the sword thing with the reading thing?
Yeah.
And so that, like, we don't have to be there every moment. Sometimes it's enough to show. You don't have to see the progress to know it's happening.
Absolutely.
We can just believe it. We'll
Yeah.
just believe it, especially with how long it's been.
Yeah, and I think like it's Paolini trusting us to follow along, which is nice. You're like, oh yeah, the author is trusting me that I will follow this,
believe
and
it,
that's nice.
Yeah, so that's my writing takeaway.
Yeah, I think my writing takeaway, and I feel like we've had this one before, but I feel like it's nice. It's just like when you have a moment in which your characters can enjoy peace, allow them to enjoy peace.
Yeah.
Like, let them have fun. Because you do not, and I feel like we have kind of talked about this before, so maybe repeating writer's takeaway, but you don't want your characters in peril all the time. It is exhausting. So if you do have a chance for peace, let them enjoy their peace.
Yeah, I think this also reminds them and the reader what they're doing all this for.
Yeah.
To get back to peace.
Absolutely. And I think that might be the writing takeaway is like, let your characters come into this is why I am doing this.
Yeah.
Like, I am doing it for these moments. Like, it is worth it because of these small moments that I can have with the people I love and care about.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Wonderful. What should we have our listeners tell us this week?
How about, I'm just going to stick with the cute scene.
Oh.
Is there a point in a novel or a book or a series that there is like something cute like that where the characters play in whatever? Is there a favorite scene of that where they just enjoy each other's company or play or anything like that? Like, what is your favorite scene of just play, your characters playing?
I like that a lot. That's excellent. Hey, real quick, so we've gone bi-weekly?
Oh, yes!
Yeah.
Yes.
You probably noticed that. The episodes have been coming out consistently, but not every week, every other week.
Yes.
And I did throw up a post by now a couple weeks back indicating episode release schedule and what chapters we will be covering.
Yeah.
And so I hope that is something that is valuable to you listeners so I know we have some folks who do read and follow along.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, like I imagine you can look at a thing and be like, oh, they cover these 2 chapters. Better make time to read that. But if you want to do ahead, and sometimes occasionally we will pair 2 chapters together.
Yep.
Sometimes we don't realize we're going to do that until 90 minutes before we're about to record the episode. And we're like, wait, these are really short. We should probably actually just combine these 2.
Yes.
So for your sake, since we're recording so much farther in advance now, we're going to have periodically, I will make posts on our Instagram, which is at Eragon Pod on Instagram, for what chapters you can expect in upcoming episodes and when those episodes will be dropping.
Yep.
That's also where you can see all of our writing tips. We have those posted and saved in like a story highlight reel on the Instagram. So if that's something you want to check out, you can do that. Also, I've said we have one that has all of our gemstones and sparks of inspiration that we've talked about or that listeners have shared with us.
Yep.
We have that saved too. So if that's something you just want to check out like that, the Instagram. I don't do a lot of regular feed posting with the Instagram, but I have a couple like consistent projects.
Yeah,
that
absolutely.
I think are really neat in relation to making it feel like an account of the podcast as we're going forward.
Yep. Absolutely. And like occasionally we'll post some stuff feed wise and
you'll
things
see,
like that.
You want to see silly stuff?
Yeah.
Like, if you want to see what Lucy and I, what our Halloween costumes looked like, you can see that. There's a picture of us too. I mean, we already have a height discrepancy, but I was wearing crazy stilettos in my gingerbread Crowley outfit. So like, there's that.
Yeah. But yeah,
that's also the best place to tell us like your sparks of inspiration.
Yeah, absolutely.
Or answer the question. Like, you can do that on Spotify if you prefer. If you want to email us, we're at eragonpod@gmail.com. But the Instagram is a great way to get in touch if you want to.
Yep.
If you just want to quietly listen to the show, that's good.
That's
too.
okay too. Yes.
Thank you so much for listening.
Yes, thank you so much for listening and just supporting by listening.
Yeah, we appreciate
Much
it
appreciated.
so much. I was worried. The first episode since us being on break has come out since then. I was so worried that we would see a big drop from us taking such a long and unacknowledged, unexpected break.
Yeah.
But no, we still got just as many listeners returning and listening to the episode as the previous one. So thank you all so much for being understanding of our holiday break and for still wanting to hang out with us. That's really damn cool.
That's really cool, especially with us going bi-weekly too, with Darien wanting to focus a lot on her own projects and working, and then me.
I've written 40,000 words.
That's so good. It's so good. And then I'm me and my girlfriend were moving into our own place, so we're kind of in the middle of everything. So that's pretty stressful and crazy. And I'm also trying to work on my own writing projects. So we do appreciate, life just gets in the way. And thank you all for just being really understanding and just super cool. So much appreciated.
Yeah, it is important to us that the podcast comes out consistently, and that's not something we've been able to successfully do.
Yeah.
Especially in the last quarter of last year. There were a lot of unexpected breaks in the release schedule. So by going bi-weekly, yes, it is a little slower going through the books, and yes, it is a little longer wait between, but ideally, and something we hope to, is that it does mean consistency.
Yes.
You will be getting every other Wednesday. You're going to get that. You don't have to wake up and be like, oh, I guess they're not going to release an episode today.
Yeah.
Shoot, that's a bummer. So consistency is our promise to you.
Yes. Do the best.
We do the best we can. And if it's not gonna happen, I'll be much better about letting y'all know on Instagram if an episode is gonna be late or delayed.
Yep. All right. Well, again, thank you so much. And until next time, she's Darien Smart.
And she's Lucy Hart.
And this has been Eragon.
And back again.